Tuna Sandanamka. It's me again as we're still talking about mental health, still talking about depression, anxiety, and suicide. Today we're talking about it's a month today, the 13th of March. Since my attempted suicide, I must say that I am somehow grateful that as much as the whole plan behind what has happened was not to kill myself but to just numb the pain that I was feeling at that moment, but then I really am grateful that I'm here today. I mean, not a lot of people survive. Not a lot of people are fortunate enough to wake up and be able to tell their story. There's quite a lot of people who also I believe that they didn't mean to kill themselves, but then they just wanted to numb the pain so that they don't feel anything for a certain amount of hours or for at least a day, where they don't feel anything, where they don't feel all the emotions coming at them at once, where they don't experience the depression or the anxiety, where they don't feel anything at all. Because that was the case with me. On the it actually happened on the 10th. I got discharged on the 13th last month. So when it happened to me, what I thought I wanted at that moment was to numb the pain that I was feeling at that moment, because I could feel all the emotions, the sadness, the peace, the joy, the anger at the same time happening. So I thought to myself that if I took sleeping pills. I think I took about 15 or 20 sleeping tablets with a glass of wine. For me, it was like, you know what, if I could just go a day or at least a few hours not having to overthink anything, not having to feel anything at all, then that would mean something. So as it's a month now, I know it's nothing, but for me it's a lot, because ever since I got discharged, I got to a point where I am somehow learning to accept that depression is somehow a part of me, and I need to learn ways on how to control it, how to deal with it, and how to accept. Because the moment you accept something, then you've overcome it. The moment you accept that you have depression, that's it. The only thing for you is just to learn ways on how to control it, and find ways on how to deal with it when the anxiety attacks you, when the overthinking starts happening, when all the emotions come flooding in your head at the same time. So I am grateful that I'm here today to tell my story, as much as not a lot of people have survived or have gotten a second chance to be able to tell their story. But for me, I'm grateful. I am full of gratitude at this moment. I am so thankful that I'm not saying that the others who did not survive, God did not have a purpose for them, but then I believe that for me, God still has a purpose for me. That is why I am here today to speak my experience with anxiety, speak my experience with suicide, talk about my experience with anxiety, talk about my experience with help others out there that are also going through a lot, that are probably not even aware that it's depression. Because sometimes, well, for me, I'm going to speak for myself, I was not aware that it's depression. I was not aware. Like, I think maybe I was in denial of the fact that I am somehow depressed. But then now I've made peace with that it is depression, and I am just learning to take it one day at a time, and I'm just embracing. I'm embracing it. Like, honestly speaking, I am embracing every single moment of it. And it's not easy, that I must say. It's really not easy, but with each day that comes, you somehow just, you tell yourself that, you know what, this is a part of me now. So I just gotta accept it, I just gotta embrace it, and take it one day at a time. It's really not easy, guys. I'm not gonna lie. I guess even the others out there that are also going through the same thing, or have experienced almost the same thing, not the same situation that I found myself in, but then depression on its own. They have experienced depression, and they've been there themselves. They would also attest to the fact that it's not an easy journey. It takes some time for you to, accept the fact that, hey, this is a part of me. But then now, after being discharged from the hospital, I feel a whole lot different. I try by all means not to overthink, because before that I would overthink almost everything. I would overanalyze almost everything. My boyfriend knows, like, he would even be like, Joe, I think you're being too much right now. But yeah, right now I think maybe I've gotten to accept that not everyone is like me. Not everyone sees things the way that I see, and not everyone's gonna react to certain things the same way that I react. So I should not beat myself when people don't react to certain things the same way that I react, or when people don't think about certain things the way that I think about them. Because at first it would be like, when people don't see things this way that I see them, to me it would bother me so much, to a point that it would change everything about me. Like, my mood would be ruined the moment I notice that someone does not see something in my point of view, or I would just, everything would change, completely change, when people don't do things or think things or behave the same way that I do. But then now I've gotten to a point where I'm like, if people, I've gotten to learn and understand that, you know what, as people, we're different. We're not going to be the same. We can't think the same. I think that's basically how God made us to be, so that at least there's a bit of balance. Because if we think the same, we do the same thing, and you believe in the same thing, then life will somehow be boring. That's how I see it. So he somehow made it, as much as he wants people to believe in one thing, but then he just somehow did it on purpose, for people to not have the same belief, to not have the same mindset, to also not have the same to also react to certain things the same way, just to, challenge us also as people, so that when someone believes in something different from me, then I get to see things from their point of view, still keeping what I believe in, but then also see things from their point of view. So now I've gotten to that point. I'm like, you know what, this is how God made things to be. He did that on purpose. So who am I to want to change things? How my sisters don't see things the way that I see them? As much as that was one of the main reasons that somehow led me, played a role in my depression. It was the fact that I felt as if, with the certain things that are happening in my personal life, my sisters were not seeing things the same way that I'm seeing. They were not reacting to things the same way that I am reacting. So it really pushed me to the edge, where I initially found myself thinking that, you know what, I am tired of feeling this way. I am tired of feeling as if nobody values me. I am tired of people not seeing me or even appreciating me. That is why I was like, maybe if I, you know, take myself out for that time being, then people will actually get to realize that. But then she actually meant a lot to us. The space that she left is actually, it shows that she's left a mark, and we actually missed that, and we did not acknowledge that. So that was the whole point that led me into taking the sleeping tablets that I took on the 10th of February. And I think that was maybe one of the challenges that I had to find myself in, for me to initially finally realize that I have to speak about this, because I don't think if that that never happened, I would be here talking about this. I think it was going to be one of those things that's like, it doesn't mean anything. But then, and the puzzling part is that the moment after I got discharged, on the same day while sitting in my place, sitting in my flat, I came across this code. Really means a lot. It just, it speaks volume to me, because I felt as if God was talking to me in a way through somebody else that put that quote on TikTok, that we don't go through things for ourselves, but then we go through things for the other people that God will somehow put in our paths for us to, our journeys to, for our paths to cross, and eventually finding out that those people are experiencing the same things that we found ourselves going through, and you're there, you've been through that same situation, so you're there, you're initially there to pull them out of that situation, so that they don't have to go through the same thing that you've been through. So as much as I haven't have met people as yet, that maybe there are people that are also going through dealing with depression, they might not know that it's depression as yet. They probably think, because as the Black community, most of the time we would think of witchcraft, and sometimes it's not always the case. Sometimes it's just you're depressed, you've got anxiety, you're overthinking things, and you just have to recharge, channel yourself, think different. Because for me, I feel as if, because prior to the attempt suicide, I had taken some time off from work, and now I feel like a brand new person. Like, even at work, people are like, wow, now it shows that Zanele is back. And that's one thing that I feel as if, I really wanted the time off. So sometimes you also need to, as much as people might not say that, I am depressed or I feel anxious, but then when you've been through that situation, when you've been through that path yourself, you get to pick it up from certain people that, okay, this behavior is it's not acceptable, it's not normal, and then you think to yourself that, what can I do to actually assist this person so that they don't find themselves in the same situation that I've been through? Because I wouldn't want a friend or someone close to me, or even someone from my workplace, to find themselves laying on a hospital bed, or even worse, died because they were depressed. They didn't know what else to do. The only thing that was making sense in their mind was, just kill yourself. But then it's not really about killing yourself, but then it's about killing those feelings for that moment. It's killing that pain. Nobody wants to kill themselves. Let me be honest on that one. Let me be clear on that one. Nobody initially wants to kill themselves. The only thing that we want to kill for that moment is to kill the pain. Numb the pain so that I don't feel anything. Numb the pain so that I don't have to overthink things. Numb the pain so that I don't have to deal with this emotion that I face every single day, that I am the only person that feels them. Because nobody else understands what we're going through when you've got anxiety, when you've got depression. I believe that everybody has their share when it comes to anxiety. But then to some people, it's worse than others. That is why not everybody can actually put their finger on that, okay, this is depression, because it begins with anxiety. From my experience, I noticed that I would get anxious from now and then. I would be fine one moment at work, and then the next moment I would snap just like that. And then I would be like, I don't know how to explain what I'm feeling, but then I am feeling something. You just don't know how to explain it. You're feeling something, but then you don't know, you cannot put your finger on that feeling or that emotion that you're feeling at that moment, because it's like 1 second you're happy, the next second you're sad, the next second you're at peace, the next second you're angry over whatever. So you cannot honestly explain it. That even people at work, they could attest to the fact that I would be asked every single day, Zanele, what's going on? I'm like, I don't know what's happening. I do know that something is going on, but then I don't know what exactly that is. And that is the problem. That's where it begins, that you cannot pinpoint what exactly is going on. But then the fact that you know that something is going on, but then only at a later stage, that's when you get to understand that, okay, this is what I've been feeling, this is what I've been going through, this is what I've been experiencing. I just didn't know how to explain it, because even when even if you think you were to explain it, you feel as if nobody will understand, because nobody has been what you're going through. Nobody is experiencing what you're experiencing, so it's even hard for you to explain the emotions. So I think, as I've said in my first video, that we need to, teach ourselves. We need to learn what depression is. We need to learn what are the signs, what is it that you need to pay attention to, for you to initially realize that, okay, this behavior is not normal and this behavior is normal. There's certain behaviors, they might be bad, but then they're acceptable, they are normal. We know that, okay, this is just the behavior that's gonna pass after some time. And then there are those certain behaviors that they're just not acceptable. As much as a person can be an introvert, but then you can never want to be alone, like lock yourself in your place or in your room or whatever, just want to be by yourself, and you cannot, you don't even enjoy anything that you used to enjoy. That was what's happening with me. Like, I didn't enjoy anything. I would put the TV on, but then I would not watch it. I would be scrolling through my phone, trying to find something to distract me, because I felt as if I was to sit alone with my thoughts, then I would go crazy. And that is what we should pay attention to. The moment you see someone so fixated on their phone, or they try to find something that's going to distract them, then that is where the problem begins, because that means they are afraid of being by themselves. They are afraid of being and understand that there's a difference between being lonely and being alone. So when you start being scared of being alone and being scared of being lonely, that's where the problem begins. Because we do need alone time from time to time. We need me time now and again. But then when you start feeling as if being by yourself is lonely, where you want to always see yourself surrounded by people, because you're scared of being alone with your thoughts, alone with yourself, alone with your imagination, then that is a problem. Because you can never always be around people. As much as, yes, you can be a people's person, you can be an extrovert, but then you can never always be around people. There will be a time in your life where you'll be like, you know what, I just need to be by myself and recharge. And that's one thing that everybody needs. We need that from time and again. But then when you start feeling as if your own presence is toxic to you, then that's the problem. Let's teach ourselves all the signs. Let's teach ourselves to read people's behaviors, so that we can help each other. Let's be our brothers' keepers. Let's be our sisters' keepers, so that we don't lose our close friends, so that we don't lose our loved ones, so that we don't lose those that we look up to in the limelight. Because it's sad that we're losing people every single day, and when you get to find out the real story behind the whole thing is suicide, depression, financial problems. That's another thing. People think that because I'm a financially stable person, then I cannot be depressed. Like, what's that? Let's teach yourself that as much as you can have money, you cannot buy happiness. You can be in your big mansion, you can be driving your latest luxurious cars, but then you'll still be driving those cars, but then you're depressed every single night when you sleep at night. You're thinking about, what can I do to suppress this feeling that I'm feeling. You buy those fancy cars because you're trying to fill the void that you're feeling inside of you, and it's not helping. It's making things even worse than they are. You buy those big houses, but then the moment you walk into that house, it's so empty, it's so lonely. That's where you get more chance or more time to plan out the suicide. You plan out a whole way of how you're gonna take your own life, because you've got this whole house that you're living by yourself. You don't have anybody, you don't have any friends. Even though you have friends, but then they are just friends. They are there only for the good time. They're not friends that are there for you when you need them. They are not friends that are there for you when you actually need someone to listen to, when you need an ear to listen to, when you need a shoulder to cry on. They are not there for you. They're only there when there's like, okay, there's a gig where over the weekend, there's a vibe happening during the week, there's something going on, there's a celebrity coming by the neighborhood, we need to be there. No, those are not the kind of friends that we need to keep. Yes, we need those kind of friends that are going to bring the fun in us, but then we also need the friends that we're going to run into whenever we face challenges in life. So let's always remember that, you know what, as much as we can have all the money on earth, because trust me, even millionaires, they're thinking of ways on how to make themselves even more richer. So why would you think that just because I have a couple of thousands, then I'm good? I might have the finances, but then you don't know what's happening with my spiritual life, you don't know what's happening with my mental life, you don't know what is happening with me physically as a person. Just because financially I'm good does not mean anything in my life is fine. Let's stop lying to ourselves, and then let's stop brushing things off when people be like, yo, I've got a lot going on, and you're like, dude, you've got the money. You can have the money, but then you cannot buy peace. You have the money, but then you cannot buy your physical body to fight, to be at peace, to be at ease. You cannot buy your spiritual being to be at peace. You cannot buy just, you know, feeling at peace spiritually, feeling at ease mentally, where your mind is not thinking about anything or stressed about anything. We do have stresses that are actually good, that are actually healthy, but then there are those that are just way too much for us, that we cannot, you know, deal with them. We don't know how to deal with them. So let's teach ourselves, Black Nation, let's teach ourselves, brothers and sisters, to, you know, and also let's teach our parents, because, you know, it's easy for the youth to actually understand depression, anxiety, suicide, and all those things that we're dealing with as youth, but then it's a challenge to our parents. You can go to a parent now and explain, tell them that, you know what, ma, I almost committed suicide, and they will start thinking about, they're like, you're possessed, you've been bewitched, you've got demons and all that. They don't understand. Yes, it's true that everything that is happening, that is going on around us, it's spiritually connected, but then let's not always try to, you know, associate everything that is happening with the devil, because sometimes we give the devil way too much credit. Yes, the thought of suicide, it's the devil lying to you, telling you that, you know what, you're better off dead, your family will be much better without you, your friends will not even realize that you're dead. But then what's more important is not only getting our spiritual beings at a place where it needs to be, but then also our mental health, also our physical being. Let's also get that in check. Let's get that on track. The moment that your mindset it's on the right track, at least have 2 out of these 4 aspects in life in check. If you can get your mental health and your physical and your spiritual in check, then I believe that your mental is gonna bring more ideas on how to improve your financial, and your spiritual is gonna find ways on how to boost your physical. So let's balance things. Let's balance our lives. Let's balance ourselves as human beings. Let's balance each other as well as individuals. Because people will be like, but then you go to church, why are you depressed? I go to church, but then do you even know what's happening at church? I might be going to church, but then you might find that the reason I am more depressed is because when I'm at church, I don't feel like my spirit is being fed. When I'm at church, I feel as if I'm being ridiculed. I feel as if I'm being judged for who I am. I feel as if I'm just being crucified for the person that I am. That is why I am spiritually depressed. That is why I am spiritually tired. That is why I feel spiritually empty. People are like, but then you've got a job. Yes, I've got a job, but then the real reason I'm depressed is because of that workplace. When I'm at that place, nobody sees me. I work hard I do 2 times the job that I'm supposed to be doing, but then nobody notices. Only when I make a mistake, that's when people are like, oh yeah, there she goes again. We know that Zanella will always make a mistake. No, I might have a job, but then you might find that a person that is jobless has The only problem they have is thinking about, okay, what am I going to eat? How am I going to provide for myself? But then for me, the mere fact that when I wake up in the morning, already I am stressed that Kana, I'm going to that place. Kana, I am going to face those people that don't even notice me. Kana, I am going to that workplace where people only see the bad in me. They don't see any good thing that I do for them. They don't see any contribution that I bring to this company. That is the one reason, that is the main reason I am depressed. I might have a job, but then that job is the reason I am depressed. Don't think that because people have got jobs, then everything should be fine in their lives. They might have jobs, but then those jobs are the real reason they're depressed. They might be going to church, but then the church where they are going, they're being abused, they're being judged. Every single Sunday when they go to church, as much as they feel like, you know what, I need my spirit to be fed, but then the moment they get there, their spirit it's being drained every single day. That is why even when they go home after church, they don't see the need to read the Bible, because the church is misinterpreting the Bible. The church is misleading people. I'm not saying all churches do that, but then I'm just saying that people will think that, okay, she goes to church. Why are you depressed? Because you've got God, you know God, you have a deep relationship with God. Not everybody that goes to church has a relationship with God. Most people go to church because they don't have a relationship with God, but they want to have a relationship with God. But the moment they go to church, they feel even way lost than they were before they went to church. That is why people end up doing things that they know it's wrong for them, but then they do them because they feel that the same thing that seems to be right, it's not benefiting them in any way. Let's try to balance each other, guys. There's no right person on earth and there's no wrong person. What I believe in might be what you don't believe in. What I see right might not be right in your eyes. But then if we come together and balance each other and say, okay, I understand what you believe in, so understand what I believe in, so let's respect each other when it comes to that. Let's accommodate each other. Let's stop judging each other based on things that we don't even know of. Let's just be kind to one another, guys. You know, this is too close to my heart, because at first I used to think that, you know what, people are just being dramatic. Why on earth would you take your own life when there's so much to live for? But then because I've been through that myself, I know that it's not an easy thing. When you are in that situation, the only thing that makes sense to you is, you know what, I don't think it's pointless for me to live anymore if I'm gonna go every single day feeling the way that I'm feeling. The only thing that makes sense is, you know what, I just need to take away the pain. And there's no way, long as you are a person, long as you've got a heart beating inside of you, long as you've got blood running through your veins, long as you able to speak and there's words and there's breath coming out of your mouth, then you are bound to feel something. So let's not, the only moment where you can stop feeling something is when the heart inside of you has stopped beating. Then that is when you don't feel anything. That is why the moment you think that, okay, I'm numbing the pain, you're not only numbing the pain, but then you're stopping that heart. You are taking out that life inside of you. We don't see that at that moment because we don't read too much into that. And even the devil is speaking to us that, you know what, that's the right way to go about it. That is the only solution, but that's not the solution. It really is not the solution. Let's learn to speak. Let's talk. Let's address the issue, guys. If we talk, then the suicide rate will decrease, especially in young people. The suicide rate will go down, like it will go down, like really, on a serious note. Let's speak up, guys. Let's teach ourselves to, you know, be kind to one another. I always say that. Smile to a stranger. It doesn't cost you anything. It does not even take 10 cents from your account. You just smile. It's just some muscles stretching, but then still, it's not exhausting. It's not tiring. You're just smiling at the next person that you come across. Say hi without it. You don't even know them. Just say hi. You don't know what that person is going through, but then that simple hi from you is like, wow, somebody sees me. That person does not know me, but then she sees me or he sees me. So at least I believe that I've got something to live for. She just smiled at me. Wow, she's got a beautiful smile. He just smiled at me. Wow, he's got a very cute smile. So if a stranger could smile at me, then who am I to want to take my life? If a stranger notices me for just being a human being, then that means I've got a whole lot to live for. If my family does not see that, it's on them. But if a stranger could just smile at me for no reason, without expecting anything from me, then that means I have a whole lot that's ahead of me. So let me not drop myself off that. Let's be kind to one another, guys. Let's continue to smile to strangers and those that we know. Let's appreciate each other as well. Don't wait until somebody's gone for you to say, hey, I loved you, you know, you were the best part of my life. No, let's do that now. Take your phone, send that message and say, hey, you're the greatest sister that I've ever had. You know, I've always wanted to have a sister, but then I never had one. So you are that sister. Thank you for being that good friend that you've always been. I know I'm a hard person to deal with. I know that I can be difficult to handle. But then thank you for sticking by me. Do that. Don't appreciate people when they are not there. Let's appreciate people while we're still able to tell them what, hey, you mean so much to me. I appreciate you being a part of my life. I love you. I appreciate you, Jay, as a person. Let's do that. Whether they reciprocate the feeling, whether they appreciate it or not, what matters is you spoke your mind, you've expressed yourself. Let's also not do things expecting something in return. Just tell someone that, you know what, I love you, without expecting them to say I love you back. Tell that person that, you know what, you're a great person, without expecting them to say you're such a great person yourself. Don't expect anything. That's the one thing that kills us, that we do things because we expect the next person to also, you know, throw the compliment back at us. No, that's not how it is. Give the compliment without expecting it. If they throw it back your way, that's good. If they don't, you've said something to them that is gonna it's gonna stay in their minds for a very long time, that even when they're going through something, they will remember your words where you said, you know what, thank you for sticking by me. And they will know that, okay, there's someone who actually relies on me, so let me not give up. There's someone that is looking up to me, so let me not, it's not yet time for me to give up, because if I give up, then they're gonna give up. How many people that are looking up to me, all those people are gonna give up. So from your girl, King Zaz and Apane, till we meet again, guys, we'll talk more, you know, interact with me, comment on the YouTube channel, leave a comment, leave a message, inbox, whatever suits you. I am here. I'm gonna talk to you back. I'm nobody after all, so hey, don't feel shy, don't be scared of talking to me, communicating with me, hollering at me. On the flip side, we'll talk again, guys. Peace. I love ya.